Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Dave Russell. We'll begin with Dale checking in with a report from the Ohio Forestry Association.
Joining me is Jeremy Scherf, and we're going to talk about Camp Canopy. He's the co-director of Camp Canopy. And Jeremy, am I remembering this right? In my day there, it wouldn't have been called Ohio Forestry Camp. Is it the same thing?
Basically the same thing, maybe a little improved and a little bigger. We had to reinvent the wheel at some point.
Speaking of bigger and better, let's go straight to sponsorships is what you can get to attend this. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. We'll come back to that in a second. But at the end, there's an opportunity to actually, through testing and your experience there, earn scholarships. So let's hit the sponsorships first. How can we get somebody else to help cover our expense to go?
There are organizations all over Ohio that want to send kids to this camp, and a lot of money goes unused. I don't want anybody to feel like the financial burden is going to prevent them from coming. It's best to start with your county soil and water conservation district office and ask them. If you're in 4-H or FFA, ask your leaders in those programs, your OSU extension office, your local sportsman's club. If all else fails, give us a call at the Ohio Forestry Association office and we'll connect you with an available sponsorship.
And the dates this year for Camp Canopy are June 8th through the 13th, and it's hosted for several years now at FFA Camp Muskingum in Carrollton, correct?
It is. We've been there well over, 25 years.
So things like tree ID, the idea of measuring how many potential board feet are in a tree that's still standing, all of that kind of stuff, as well as chainsaw safety, and a great time meeting other people with similar interests.
It really is. Learning more about forestry. I always tell kids, my goal isn't to turn you into forester. My goal is to teach you more about forestry and wildlife, expand your appreciation of it. And if you decide you want it as a career, great. But if you go off and be a doctor or a lawyer, then you know a lot more about this too.
That's part of that broadening of your education we've talked about for years.
Exactly, yes.
Jeremy Scherf, my guest, and you can find complete details at campcanopy.com.
The Food and Agricultural Policy Research Institute at the University of Missouri released its 2025 U.S. Agricultural Market Outlook Report. The outlook for U.S. farm finances is characterized by two competing storylines. For producers of many crops, net returns are down sharply from recent peaks as output prices have declined more than input costs. The cattle sector, in contrast, is experiencing record prices and returns to cow-calf producers. At the same time, uncertainty surrounding domestic programs and trade policy is unusually high. Corn prices, which peaked at $6.54 a bushel in 2022-2023, are projected to average $4.23 for the crop harvested in 2025. Soybean prices are projected to drop to $10.02 a bushel in 2025-2026. Egg price volatility will continue depending on the prevalence of future highly pathogenic avian influenza disease outbreaks. Producers wishing to enroll in either agricultural risk coverage or price loss coverage from USDA have until April 15th to do so.
A reminder to producers. April 15th is the election deadline for coverage under USDA's flagship Farm Safety Net programs, agricultural risk coverage and price loss coverage.
You have the ability to change what you had for the 24 production year for 25 if you choose.
Farm Service Agency Administrator Bill Beam says even if producers elect to keep the same coverage as the prior year, they still need to visit their local FSA office to enroll. Producers can also enroll for ARC or PLC online.
Visit fsa.usda.gov.
Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
The markets are next.
Ohio's beef farms run on the protein-packed punch of soybeans. Across the United States, beef operations consume the equivalent of 55 million bushels of soybean meal annually. Soy meal delivers the energy and essential nutrients that help produce top-quality beef for your table. From soybean fields to plates everywhere, soybeans power the farms that feed families. This message brought to you by the Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Think biodiesel is just another fuel? Think again. Biodiesel is Ohio innovation on the move. Clean, green, and built to keep diesel engines running strong. It's an engine booster, a soybean supporter, and an environmental champion all in one. Every gallon reduces emissions, strengthens Ohio farms, and powers your ride. Drive with purpose. Choose biodiesel. Learn how at soyohio.org.
The market's brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. At the Board of Trade, May corn $4.64 up 4 1/4. December corn $4.46 down 3/4 cent. May soybeans $9.83 up 6. November beans $9.81 down 3 1/4. July wheat $5.50 up 7 3/4. At the Mercantile Exchange, April cattle $198.92 down $3.70. April hogs $87.80 up 42 cents. May feeder cattle $271.27 down $3.60. This is the Ohio AgNet.